Welcome back to the Diminutive Soldier. Today we're going to talk about this beautiful game, Bloodstones, by Martin Wallace and Wallace Designs. The back of Bloodstones says it's a pick your faction, pick your strategy, pick your fight. 6 factions vie for control of the land of Foul, each of their own set of units and their own set of special powers. Easy rules, deep strategies, quick setup, plays quickly. Ages 14 and up. I think you could actually play it younger. Players 1 through 6. It does have solo rules. And time, 2.5 hours. This is just a beautiful game. I mean, it is just a joy to play with. It's a joy to lay out. It's a joy to see. Let's get down to the table and you'll find out why. Really, before we get into the gameplay, how to play, I want to do a little unboxing of this and show you what it comes with. First, of course, you have your solo campaign rules. It is a hefty rule book full of solo scenarios with a little story to them, a little fluff, a little how to set up each one of them. Some, for instance, this one, you're going to have the enemies going to be moving in a certain direction based on the rules. You know the direction they're going to go, and you have to defeat the dragons. So you got to work out that puzzle. I mean, and there's several. They're just full of puzzles. This is a massive solo rule book. They put a lot of effort into this. Then, of course, you got your normal rule book. It's not too much to it. It's not a very, very complicated game. Very well done rule book. Well illustrated with good examples. And then you got all your goods in here. You got this bag, so you can tote the maps around with you if you want to. I don't really use it, but it's a nice little nylon bag. And then every faction in the game have their own bags. Example, here are the necromancers. Another bag for the necromancers for their villages. Here's the dragon people. And I'll show you what's in the bags. And we'll get to it, of course, during the game. You got your tiles in them. For instance, your swordsman. Here's a cavalry. Here's your leader, and he has his own special rules. And the symbols on them all mean something naturally. These right here mean how much it costs to bring him in the game. How many other tiles it costs. You'll have a hand of tiles that you can use for either to bring in the game or as a resource. So if you wanted to bring this cavalryman in the game, you got to discard both of these. He costs 2, and then he can come in. These little pips over here mean all sorts of different things. When they're in your hand, I can spin this guy, meaning he's not coming in the game. I'm going to discard him, and I can move 5 times. I can place out villages. You can do different things with these little pips over here as a resource, which we'll get to that later. And every faction has their own special units, special abilities. This one, as you may guess, has dragons that have their own things. They also have lizard men, the undead, necromancers, obviously can bring back the dead. You have your horse lords, these beautiful, beautiful bags. You have these, your corsairs, I believe what they're called. And you got their smaller bags that have their villages. Let's see if I can open it for you. It's tied pretty tight. Has their villages in them that you lay out. And you want to build villages to gain points. Of course, you can capture enemy villages. These are your combat bags. So you'll be drawing, if you're attacking someone, one will draw from one bag, one will draw from another to see how many hits you do, which we'll get to. There's your hill men, your mountain men. They have giants, very powerful. There's this faction right here, your horde. They play very different. They don't build villages. And there's the smaller bags from them. Then you're going to get down to each individual faction has their own play guide. A lot of them have a lot of the same things. So this side here, how much it costs each movement point to move in. Plains only cost 1, forest 2, hills 3. Mountains you cannot, except for this faction can. So you can use mountains to your advantage. You have your turn sequence here. You have some rules here. And then on the back, you have your units breakdown. You have your skirmishers. They do an additional attack when they're in the forest. Your cavalry does an additional attack if they're in the plains. Your leader always does one extra attack, and when he moves, he can move an additional unit with him for no extra cost. You've got your dragon special rules here. Your swordsman's always +1 attack. Your lizardman's always +1 attack when attacking, not defending. And they can stay in deserts. Normally you can't because the desert's too harsh. Ships, your shieldmen +1 when defending, etc., etc. As you can see, every faction, this was the dragon riders. Here's the hill folk. They have giants +2 attacks. You have your necromancers here with their special rules. They have undead special rules and necromancer special rules. If one or more necromancers are part of a winning battle, then they may replace each eliminated enemy unit with one undead unit. And here's your undead units here. You can move some or all of your undead up to 2 areas during the move undead phase. This is the only time they can move. They ignore terrain cost. They can enter mountain areas and remain in deserts. They can move by sea using ships. So undead have their own move action, move undead. You got your horse lords, which they have their own special rules. They have a larger hand size than usual. You got your corsairs with their own special rules. They have a special power down here. You can pause it and read that if you'd like. You got your chaos horde. And then they have, you can see their own special rules down here. You may capture villages in action during your core action phase instead of during the captured village phase. Score 2 victory points for a captured village at the end of the game. So the more villages they capture, the better for them compared to the others. And then the game comes with several beautiful, these maps, that don't wrinkle. You think they'd be folded up in here, they'd be all wrinkly. Not even in the slightest. Let me lay that out for you. Check out how nice that is. It's beautiful. The colors are beautiful. It feels great. It's very soft. You got your plains, you got your hills, you got your forests, you got your mountains. And of course, these territories, the lines are next to each other. This is your victory point track going across. And up there is basically your turn counter for the game. So this is one map, and it says down here, it's for players 1 through 4. Let's get out another map. Check this one out. I'm going to show you all of them just because they're so nice. They're so varied. I mean, a lot of variability. Here's another map with a lot of big lakes in it. Also 1 through 4. Very pretty map. Has a few deserts in it around there. Here's a third map. Let's check it out. This one, you may want to be building a lot of boats so you can get across, and you might have a bunch of naval battles in there. This is 1 through 3 players instead of 1 through 4. And yet again, I'm just surprised they didn't come all wrinkly, and they don't wrinkle up. I don't know what material they are exactly, but they feel really nice. This is a much wider map than the others. It's not as tall, but it's wider. Maybe it is the same height, actually. And this is 2 to 6 players, not 1 player. Got some cool stuff on it. Got a little temple thing here. Got a weird little snail monster over here. Very cool map. I like that one a lot. We got 2 more maps. I mean, this comes with a ton of these maps to play on. Here's one. This It's called Remains of the Past. They all have a name on the bottom of them. I'm sorry I wasn't reading the names of the last ones. 1 to 4 player map. This one does have a crease down it, actually. There you go. Check that map out. And last but not least, we got another wide map. Sorcerer's Crucible. This one does say it's 1 to 6 player map. Sorcerer's Crucible. Very cool map. A lot of super cool detail on this map. Let me get down and show you some of the detail. So I'll show you some up close of the map now. I mean, look at that. It's just fun stuff. Beautifully illustrated and just very colorful. I love the colors on it. It really pops. When you put the tiles on them and you're moving your armies across the map, moving your tiles, I mean, it just really, really pops. It's very well done. What's that sleeping in there? All right, so let's get a game set up and show you how it works. I'm going to show you how to play the game if there was 3 players playing. First, you're going to draw out of these bags pips to see who goes first. We're just going to say the hill folk over here going first, followed by the dragon riders, followed by the horse lords. First, you go in reverse order, placing out your citadel. That's your capital building. So the horse lords, they're gonna place theirs out right up there. Then we're gonna have the dragon riders. Here they are. Let's say he's gonna place his. Let's stick it way down here. And the hill folk, let's place his right. Let's place his right smack dab in the middle. Let's get crazy with it. And each faction, to start off the game, is going to draw 9 random tiles out of their bag. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And I could put up to 5 cost worth of them out to start the game. Each tile, each unit, this is their cost. So this one costs 1 over here. I put out to 9. So I'm going to put a swordsman out. That's 1. I can put out to 5. I apologize. 2, 3. I'm going to put some horsemen out. 4, 5. Put some more horsemen out. So that's the ones that they're going to end up putting out. Let's see about the dragon riders. Need to get 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Well, I like this. I have the dragon right out there. 2 dragons. Oh my days. And then you have some factions you'll see here, these skirmishers, they cost nothing. I can just put them out right away. They're free. Pretty dang good. So they're definitely going to go out. And so then it'll be dragon, 1, 2. I'm going to put out swordsman, 3. And I'll put out a cavalry. Oh, another dragon. What am I talking about? 4, 5. And then the hill folk. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. See the hill folk? He has a couple free skirmishers as well here. So they are definitely going out. And he has a couple shieldsmen. They give you bonus too if you're defending. He has a couple fortresses. Obviously, they can't move, but they're good on defending. So he's going to do a horseman. That's 1, 2. These 2, 3, 4. He'll do a fortress. Sure, 5. And so those will be the starting forces going out on the board. So the hill folk will go ahead and place his 5 that he picked, he didn't get any free ones, if you remember. And he can place them all at the Citadel. So he's going to place his 2 horses, boom, boom, and his 1 swordsman. Dragon Rider is going to place his 2 very powerful dragons. His 2 skirmishers there. His 1 swordsman that gives him a bonus in offense. The Dragon Rider right now is strong because he's got those 2 dragons out there. It's kind of ridiculous. He's going to place his 2 shields there. He's also got 2 skirmishers with them here. He's got a cavalry. And he's got a fortress as well. He's got a fortress as well, also known as a castle. And the benefit of this is it gives +3 to defending. Now a citadel can be attacked and it can be taken, given 5 victory points. I'm going to stick the citadel on top of it. But now he's built that castle there to help defend his citadel. So whatever tiles you had left over from your 9 that you picked from, you're going to have a starting hand of 6. So the horse lords already have 6. They can't draw anymore. So he has 2 ships, 1 cavalry, swordsman, a blank, and a like trebuchet. And I'll get into what they mean shortly. So he's just going to set his to the side. That's his starting hand. We're also going to put out their tokens for the victory track. They're all going to start on 0. And up here for the turn marker, they all start on 0. So I'm just going to stack them all together. Now, how the turn marker works is whenever you have discarded all your tiles and you have no more tiles in your bag you can draw from, you're going to move your marker across that track. In a 3-player game, once everyone has done that at least twice, that's the end of the game. And you count your victory points, and you have your winner. Basically, how you gain victory points is you're going to be building villages, and every time you move your little marker over here across that track, you gain a victory point for every village you have out on the table. If you attack and capture enemy villages, you keep those kind of as trophies, and at the end of the game, you add all those up, and you get a victory point, 1 victory point for every village you captured. Unless you're the Horde, they get 2. We're not playing with them right now. If you've ever captured an enemy citadel, you get 5 victory points in the game. And then battles as well. If you win a battle, then you get a victory point for however many enemy units they had in their army when you won that battle. So if they had 10, and they had a massive force and you won, boom, you got 10 victory points. So Dragon Riders have 4 tiles, so they still got to draw 2 more for their starting hand of 6. So they're going to draw 2 more here. They get a ship and a swordsman. I'm going to set them out on the side. Maybe you can see them. Normally, you would not see what tiles your opponent has. They would keep them secret. But obviously, we're just doing a tutorial game. Hill Folk has 3. They got to draw 3 more. They have a ship. They have another ship. They have a castle. They're going to draw 3 more. They're going to draw a shield, another ship, and another ship. Oh gosh! I say that because the Hill Folk, they're not going to care about ships. Where are they going to go? You can use ships to transport troops. Sure, you can use ships, of course, to attack in the water. They don't care. They're Hill Folk. You think they care about ships? Get out of here with that. But they can use them for other things, which we are going to get to right now. Start of the game, start of the turn. First things first, you capture villages. If you have units on a space with enemy villages, you capture it. There are none. Second thing, if the necromancer's out on the board, they can move the undead and whatnot. Obviously, there are none. Don't worry about that. Next is your main actions. This is where you can build units. You can move units. You can battle, and you can do these in any order you want. You can build a unit, you can then move it, you can then attack, you can then build another unit, etc., etc. You can do it however you want to do it. So the hill folk go first. Let's see. Let's say they want to. Tricky. Normally, to move into the hills for a normal faction, that costs 3 movement points. Say for the Dragon Riders. The hill folk, it only costs 2 because, well, it's in their name, isn't it? The hill folk. This has a great turn sequence over here. So you capture villages, your main actions, then you build villages, then you draw tiles. And it has some important rules. You can only expend a maximum of 1 tile when capturing a building village. We'll get to later. Units can only be built in areas containing one of your villages or your citadel. You must resolve all battles before you end the main action phase. You can build up to 2 villages in the plains. You can only build 1 village in forest or hills. So, what do the hill folk want to do? He's going to build 1 shieldman. This over here is how much it costs to build him. That means you have to expend 1 of your tiles, any tile, to build him. So he's going to get rid of a ship, and he's going to build another shieldsman to go right there. This then is discarded. You'll have a discard pile of them to the side. Whenever you run out of tiles in your bag, you'll fill it back up. Yet again, that tracker will move up, and then you'll fill your bag back up with all your discarded items. So he built that. He's going to move out a little bit. And so, for instance, it says for him, it costs 2 per tile to move in the hills. 2 what? 2 of these little pips. So, for instance, if I play this tile, I can move 2 units into those hills because that costs 2 and it'll cost 2. Or I can move 4 units in the plains because it only costs 1 to move in the plains. That's what those little pips mean. They can be used. Those pips are used for building villages. For every pip you have, you can build a village. Those pips are used for movement points. Those pips are moved for capturing villages. And those pips are also moved for combat, used for combat. So let's say he's going to discard this. He's going to move 2 shieldsmen into the hills. Okay? He's then going to he's going to discard another one. 4 pips. He's getting rid of these ships. He's going to move 1 skirmisher and 1 shieldsman into these hills. He's going to keep everyone else, I believe, on the citadel. He's not, obviously, if you look at the turn sequence, he can also build units. He can also battle. He doesn't really have any units he cares to build. I don't want to build a ship. I don't want to build another castle there. So he's not going to do that. So now I can build villages. In villages, you're going to have your little bag full of villages here. And they cost 1 pip each to build. And you can build them adjacent to your citadel and adjacent to each other. So I'm going to spend this one 4 pips. Well, I can start placing villages out. And in plains, it costs 1 pip. In hills, they cost 2. So I'm going to place 1, 2, and then I'm actually going to place, so I have 2 more pips to spend to build a village. I'll place it in this hills up here. They're a little more defensive when they're in the hills in order to capture it. When you're capturing a village, you spend pips for every pip to capture a village. But in the hills, it costs 2 pips, not 1 to capture. So I have 1 more tile. I could build more villages. And I'm going to do that. I'm going to use this tile. I've now expended all of them, which you do not have to. You don't have to use any tile if you don't want to. I'm kind of just refreshing my hand. I'm going to build another village in here. That's 1, 2, if you recall. And I'll build 1 in the forest. 3. And I have 1 more pip I can spend. 4. The hill folk have expanded. Let's go to the board and check out what they've done. So you look up a little closer here. You got in the hills, you got a village defended by 2 shieldsmen. I have my citadel defended by a castle. I got a skirmisher, a horseman there. I got a shieldsman and a skirmisher here in the village in the hills. I got these open villages. Now what's worrisome, these dragon riders, yeah, they got some forces. They got 2 freaking dragons. I believe that's all the dragons they have in the whole game, and they are on the board right now. They add +4 to combat, which is ridiculous. Now, if they're part of a successful attack, here, I'll show you. If they're part of a successful attack, then they're removed from the board and placed in the discard pile. They do like 1 attack, they fly in, tear everything up, they're gone. So you can't, so it's kind of a one and done. They can come back later, but you got to refresh everything. And then I got the horse swords up here, which aren't doing much. Their special ability is they do start out with 1 extra tile, which I actually forgot. Only got 6. I need to draw 1 more for them, actually. Boom, there you go. They got a castle. They always have a hand of 7 instead of 6. And they have an extra leader tile. Most only have 1 leader tile, most factions. The leader tile allows you to move the leader and another unit, only for the cost as if you're moving 1 unit. They move with the leader. The horse swords have 2 of those, and they have a bigger hand. So a little bit more maneuverable. And yeah, so now we're going to go down to the dragon riders. Let's see what they're going to do. So now at the end of the hill folks' turn, you draw back up to your hand size. Well, he used all his tokens, so he's going to draw randomly 6 more. Yet again, normally you'd keep these secret. So he drew cavalry. He drew a battering ram, which they have bonuses +2 to attacking castles and citadels. He drew another ship, which he didn't care about. He drew a shieldsman. He drew a free skirmisher. And he drew this tile. It can be, there is no unit, obviously. It can be used to build units. You can spend it. But it also has 5 pips on it that you can spend. You can hold it for combat or whatever you may need it for. That's what's so great about this game, the versatility of it, the strategy of when to use your tiles. Do you just use them as resources? Do you hold on to them for combat? Do you really need to get that guy on the board? Yada, yada, yada. So, Dragon Rider's time. So you'll see, turn sequence, capture villages. He has none to capture. He's not on a space with any villages. Now build units, move units, and battle. It's the main action. So, he's definitely ready to get out there, start tearing some stuff up. He's got a free unit he can build. This lizard man. Lizard men have +1 when attacking, and they have a special ability where normally units cannot remain in deserts. They'll die if they're stuck out in the desert. He can, but deserts are down there. I'm not worried about it. But he's free, so he's definitely going out here. And then what else I want to build? I got a bunch of shield men. I want to be aggressive. Don't care about the shield men. I want to build a cavalry. You see, he's going to cost 2 tiles. So I'm going to spend a shieldsman. Whoa. A shieldsman and a ship to build him. Let me put these back. So they're going to my discard pile, and he's coming out. Now I really want to start moving. Be aggressive. Be aggressive. But I also, see, I only have 2 tiles left. I only got 2 tiles left. I also want to build villages. I also want to move up. Get aggressive, start capturing villages. Movement for everything costs a pip. I don't have a leader on the board. I have this cavalry. I have 2 skirmishers. I have a swordsman, a lizardman, 2 dragons. So here's what I want to do. Let's see, 3 pips. Oh, this dragon's going 1, 2, moving right up here. So they're gonna have to deal with that dragon. I got 1 more pip I can use for that movement. Crud. Well, you know what? I don't know if I could do that. You see here, actually, I'd have to go 1, 2, 3, or 1, 2, 3 to get up there. I believe that's how that works. Yeah. So I apologize. So that cost me all 3 of those pips to move him. I got one more. I can move something else, or I can just stick that dragon out there. Keep everyone at bay right now. Start building villages, which I'm going to do. So I'm done with my main actions. I need to get some villages out on the board. So now it's build village time. So I'm spending my last tile. I could build 3 villages total. So I'm going to build 1. Whoops. All, all these are just stacked in that territory. I build 1 here. 1. You could build 2 on the plains in the same space. I'm going to build 1 there. 1 here that's adjacent to my citadel. That's 2. And then they're adjacent. I build 3. That's my 3. I'm done with my turn. Dragon Rider's going to draw 6 more. He has a lizardman. He has a ship. He has cavalry. He has a blank with 5 pips. He has a castle, and number 6, he has a swordsman. Now the horse rider's turn. Horse riders. What is it? He doesn't have much, does he? Poor bastard. Let's see. What is he going to do? What does he want to build? He'll build these horses. He'll build this cavalry unit. Costs 2. So he'll get rid of these. He'll get rid of this catapult and this ship. And the reason he got rid of the catapult instead of 2 ships is because catapult has less pips. The ships can be used more versatile. So these go in the discard. He builds that cavalry. He's got 3 cavalry up there. Risky. He can tell stuff's about to happen on here. So he feels like he's got some time to build up, really start moving. He's really got to build some villages and get villages out there. Yeah, but when you build villages, you can only use 1 tile. So I can't say I'm going to use all these tiles. I'm building 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, no. You can only use 1 tile to build villages. So, knowing that, he's going to build a swordsman. He's going to stick them out there. He's getting rid of this ship to do that. And he's not, screw it. He's using this one to move people. So he'll have 5 movement points. 5. So he's going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's where he's moving to. He's done with his main actions. He's using his last tile for 4 pips. So he can build up to 4 villages. So he's drawing 4 villages out of his tiny village bag. He's going to place all them out. So he's got 1, 2, and in the forest it costs 1 to build. So he's definitely building up in this forest, just because they're farther away. And so that's his turn. He draws all the way back up to 6 because he also used every tile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are like domino tiles, what they are. He's got 2 cavalry. He's a horse horse after all. He's got a shields. He's extra defending. He's got 2 free skirmishers and another 5. That's not a bad hand. That's not a bad hand at all. So he's going to stick all those out. Now we're going back to the hill folk. What the heck's the hill folk going to do? He's got to get rid of that dragon. At the top of the dragon's turn, if he's still on that village, dragon captures the village. He didn't want that to happen. But it's going to be super hard to get rid of the dragon. Remember, the dragon, if he has a successful attack, then he's removed from the board. A force with no opposing force can withdraw from dragons. Cause one pip to move a dragon to any type of terrain, including mountains. So he's only removed if he does a successful attack. If I attack him and he defends and he beats me, he still stays. So it's going to take a lot to fight him, to be honest. But would be really good to take that dragon down. What do I have up here? I have a shieldsman, skirmisher. Here I only have cavalry and a skirmisher. I got 2 shieldsmen. Shieldsmen are only good at defending. I could build another skirmisher for free. There we go. I could build another cavalry. Try to run in there. That costs 2. Oof. Things getting risky. I'm doing it. I'm doing it for the show. Spin those 2. Build another cavalry. But here's the problem. Now, here's the choice I have. I want to move units in there. I would love to move all 4 of these in there, obviously. Maybe one of those too. I'd love to. To do that, I have to use this. It has the 5 pips. So I can move, up to 5 things in there with a dragon. But this would also be nice to save for the combat, which we'll get to, and you'll see why. I could use it to replace one of the ones you draw out of the combat bag. I could replace it with that. Or I can use this to only move 3 and use that for combat. Brother. Oh, brother. That's brutal. The dragon's automatically going to get a +4. I'm actually not going to get any. I will get bonuses if I move more cavalry in, which I will be moving 2. You will see. Let me show you here. Cavalry are +1 to their combat while in planes. Skirmishers only enforced, so they're not going to give me any help. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to use this one to move 3. So 2 cavalry running in there, trying to take out the dragon, defend this village, sending 1 skirmisher with them. If I wanted to move any more, I could move them all and then fight. But I have nothing else to do. We are just going to battle. And here's how we battle. I have more units than the dragon. So I draw more battle tiles. So I have more units. Both bags are the same. They're just different colors. I have more units, so I draw 4 battle tiles. And you pick your top 3. He's going to draw 3 battle tiles. So let's see which ones I get. I got 2 pips. 2 pips. Not good. 3 pips. 4 pips. Not good. But I get to pick my top 3. He's going to draw his battle tiles. He has a 2, a 3, and a 4. So, now, and before you draw the battle tiles, the defender can withdraw if he wishes. So, the dragon, so the defender can withdraw if he wishes, if he has the same amount of cavalry or more than the attacker. If there is no cavalry in either force, then the defender can withdraw. Unless they have a castle they're defending or their citadel, they can never withdraw. And also the dragon says the opposing force can never withdraw. But the dragon could withdraw if he wanted to. The dragon doesn't. I mean, as a dragon, he ain't withdrawing. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? So anyways, that's before you do your pips. So we do our pips. Then, after you draw your pips, the attacker decides if he wants to substitute one of these for one of those. He does. He's going to substitute his 5. So it's going to replace one of these 2, obviously. This just goes back in the bag. So you pick your top 3. So that's going to go back in the bag. So the attacker has 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, plus any bonuses. The horsemen and the planes add +1 each. So that's 14, because the skirmishers don't add anymore. So he has 14 total. The dragon here has 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus 4, because the dragon special rules gives it +4. Always, attacking or defending. So 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Guess what? The dragon hath been slayed. That goes in the discard. They've successfully defended their village. They get a victory point for every unit they've destroyed. Unfortunately, even though it's a dragon, it's only worth 1 victory point. When you lose a battle as a defender, you choose to remove 1 unit from the board, and then the rest of your forces have to retreat. Since there's only the dragon in that force, he just lost his dragon. And the hill folk gain 1 victory point. Hill folk are out of tiles. They can do nothing else. They can't build villages. They just draw back up to 6 tiles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have, forget what these are called, a reaver. Reavers get +1 to attacking. So they're free. It's a great unit. They got a giant. Giants give +2 to attacking. And they always, if you have a giant in your army, you always draw 4 tiles, no matter if the other force has more soldiers than you. Here's a leader, and I mentioned to you about leaders. Leaders can move another unit with them for free. And he's got a battering ram. He's got a swordsman, which is +1 always attacking or defending, and another reaver +1 attacking. So now he's got a pretty strong hand now. Now these go back in their bags. Their respective bags. And this will go back in his discard pile up here. Now it's the dragon rider's turn. What the heck there? He's lost his dragon. He's reeling a little bit from that. He doesn't quite know how to handle it. He's got skirmishers, 2 skirmishers, cavalrymen there, lizardmen, a dragon, and a swordsman. He kind of just wants to start pushing up. He's pissed off, to be honest. I'm just going to be honest with you. He's a little perturbed. So he's going to spend a lot of points to start moving. Let's see. If he wants to move his dragon costs 1 to move in the forest. So I'm going to, he's not capturing any villages. So he's going to spin this ship. That's 4 pips. That's 1. 2, 3, 4. Move some cavalry up there with him. He's going to spin this castle. That's 4 pips. 1, 2. This is a swordsman. 3, 4. And he has 4 units there. He's got his 2 skirmishers back here. They'll stay here. So he has 4 units there. He wants to get them up here, and we're just going to fight. So he's going to spin this pip. He's going all in. Going all in right here. Horse swords up there just watching, baffled. They don't know what the hell's going on. They're a little scared. But hey, they're building their villages. They got their wheat farms. Everything's nice. Everything's nice. He's going to build, this is free, another lizardman. Can he get him up there as well? Hell yes, he can. I'm going all in. He's using this for 3 pips for movement. Let's just go. 1, 2, 3. Boom. And guess what? Held this one in reserve for combat because I can if I want to. So let's see. We're done with building. We're done with moving. Let's fight. I obviously have more forces than him. I draw 4 pips. He cannot withdraw, even if he had equal to or the same amount of cavalry as me. And I think he has more cavalry, actually. I have, yeah. But he could withdraw if he wanted to. He could just move, and how he withdraw is right now he says, I'm backing out, and he can go to an adjacent territory that's empty or with friendly. He could do that. But the dragon says, while attacking you, the enemy cannot withdraw. He's stuck. So the dragon draws 4 tiles, a 5, a 3, a 2, and a 5. Oh my mercy. And the hill folk are going to draw 3 tiles. And that's just a 5, a 3, and a 4. Not shabby, not shabby. So as the dragon's the attacker, I can decide to use this 5 right now if I want to guarantee a win. I'm feeling good. I'm not using that. Don't need it. Keeping it. Hill folk can decide to use one if he wants to replace. I think he doesn't want to use his leader or his giant. He needs those. I think he pretty much knows he has lost this battle. So this one goes away because it's your top 3. So the Dragon Riders have 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 because of the dragon. The Lizardmen add +1 and attacking. That's 18, 19. We're in the plains, horsemen, 20. Swords at +1, 21. I think they're pretty fine. So that's 21 to the defender, which is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 for the horsemen. So the dragon riders win. Horsemen have to choose to kill one. They're going to kill off their skirmishers. They then can retreat the rest. They're going to retreat back to their citadel right here. And they had 3 units there. So dragon riders with their victory points up to 3. They defeated an army of 3 units. And then they have a pretty substantial force stuck right here that they're somehow going to have to deal with. They're reeling from it. How you deal with it? How you deal with it? These go back in their bags. Now it's the Horse Lord's turn. Horse Lord's, like I said, just looking down going, what the hell is happening down there? I don't know, but they... Oh, yet again, Horse Lords always have a hand of 7. I forgot to draw an extra one, didn't I? Always forget. And as you can see, they have a lot of horses. They have a lot of cavalry. It's kind of in their name, isn't it? So they're going to build these 2 free skirmishers. 1, 2. If I had built a village down here, they could have built the skirmishers there and been a little bit closer. Hindsight 2020, should have done that. What do they have here? They have a shieldsman and an archer there, don't they? They kind of like maybe hanging back, being a little more defensive. Swordsman, swordsman, horse, 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 horse. All good in the plains. They're going to build. They're going to build this shieldsman for defending. just in case. And they're going to move up some. They're going to use this horseman for 3 pips for movement. Dang. Moving the hills does cost 3 pips for every unit. Forgot about that. Hill folk pretty defended right here. Costs 2 to move in forest, 3 to move in hills. I cannot move in the mountains. But I want to start putting a little pressure on him somehow. So he's just moving that 1 unit, costs 3 to move in the hills. And that is a swordsman that is +1 to combat always, attacking and defending. And the rest, he's not going to move. He's done. He's playing way more defensive, obviously. He's going to build some villages, though. I'm going to spend this pip, my 5-1, to build villages. So I'm going to 1. And in plains, you could build 2 villages in plains. So that's 1, 2, 3. The forest, 4. The forest over here, 5. The horse lords in the end game, if you remember, every time that moves, you score for how many villages you have. So even though they haven't gotten a fight, they're not attacking, they're not here fighting, they don't have victory points down there in this track yet. Well, let's say when they run out of their tiles, if it was right now, they're going to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 victory points that would move all the way up to here. They haven't even fought once because no one's captured any, etc. So someone's got to start looking and doing something about them. They're just going to spread out their villages across the board while these two are pummeling each other. So these two might start needing to communicate. They're done with their turn. They draw back up to a hand of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's so bizarre. They get an extra leader, and I haven't even drawn a leader. 7. And I apologize. The Dragon Riders, I never drew their hand back up to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got a leader. 6. So you'd go back to the hill folk. What the hill folk gonna do? Well, for damn sure they're gonna want to build a giant. I guarantee you that. He costs 2. These 2 are free. Giant costs 2. Hold on. So they'll spend that battering ram for him. They'll spend the swordsman for him. He comes in. This is getting tough, y'all. And then these 2 guys actually run out of room. They're going to come in. So this is a substantial force here. I could use my leader, 5 pips, to move 5 of them in here. He has horses. I mean, he has a lot of bonuses. But I could do that. I think I'm going to have to because he's going to, he'll take that village. Or I could look down here. He's wide open. He's got 2 skirmishers down there. There's not much to worry about. I could start moving down there and force him to possibly withdraw. That's tough. If this was live right now, I'd ask your vote. What to do? You know, the hill folk aren't that bright, okay? Hill folk a little barbaric. Hill folk just want fight. So he's spending that 5. And he's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Look at this fight we got going on here. Let's go down on the board and check this out. Look at this stack. Even stack here. It's going to be an epic fight. What is this village? What's so special about this village? They're down here. They're pretty wide open. If the hill folk could win, they'll kill off one of them, push them back. They're still going to have to contend with them. And the hill folk really have to start moving up. Hill folk are just kind of screwed, stuck in the middle there. Hill folk should have maybe built their citadel out here or on this island over here. But I wanted to show you a fun game. So let's see what's going to happen. Right? So they could withdraw if they wish. Can they? Hold on. Yeah, well, they have the dragon in it, so they can withdraw if they so desire. So dragons can always withdraw from battle. Their army, if it has a dragon in it, can always withdraw from battle if they have a place to withdraw to. And they're actually going to decide to do so. And they're withdrawing right down here. So the hill folk didn't kill any off. Really wanted to try to and get those victory points. But the dragon played a little bit smarter. So they're in a standoff right now. Hill folk's going to draw back up to a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And you see he's still not completely out. He has, let's see how many he has left in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He has one more turn before that marker, the top of the board, moves. So he would draw 6 more. Then the dragon riders would go. They capture villages. They have nothing to capture. They can do their main actions: move, build, attack, etc. They're going to. He's going to build. He's going to use these two. Get rid of those. He's going to build a leader. And then these are 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes. He's going to spend this. Move all 5 of them back into fighting. Now they cannot retreat because I have a dragon. And I have a bunch of bonuses, units who have bonuses to attacking. Can I get this leader and another dude up there where I can make sure, because right now we're even. I won't draw 4, but if I have more than him, I will. Let's see. It would cost 1, 2, 3. Yes. So I'm going to use this one. 4 pips. And a leader can move someone free with him. He's going 1, 2, 3. This guy stays behind. I'm not doing anything else. I'm fighting. Now the hill folk, because I have a giant, the hill folk have a giant in that army. So even though they have less troops, normally you'll draw 4. I'm at 3. Since he has a giant, he still draws 4. 2, 3, 4. Not great. Let's see what the dragon rider's got. 1, 2, 3, 4. Better. And they got the dragon with them. So what they're going to do, attacker can decide to use this as an extra 5. But to be honest, he wants to save it. He wants to start building villages. He's got to build more villages. He only has 3 out. What a scrub. So he's not spending it. He's not going to spend it. That's going to be his. Defender can decide to spend 1. He's going to. He's got a 5. He's going to spend it to replace a lower one. So all the lowest ones go until you got your top 3. All right. So let's go with the attacker. 5, 10. You got 14. The leader adds +1. That's 15. He doesn't add any unless you're in the forest. He has +1. It's 16. They're in the plains. 17. He has +1 when attacking. 18 has +1 when attacking. 19. Dragon always has +4. So that's 23 points. Got your defender. He has 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Whoops. These two add +1 when attacking. Guess what? They're defending now. They don't add anything. That's 12, 13, 14 for both these cavalry in the plains. And +2, 16 for the giant. They lose. They have to decide which one to kill. They're going to kill one of these reavers. They have to fall back. I'm going to fall back here. Are they going to fall back to the citadel? No. They're going to fall back here. Dragon goes away. It's a successful attack. He's gone. He won't be coming back on the board for a while. Everyone else stays. And Dragon Riders get a victory point for every unit that was in there when they attacked, which was 5. So they go up from 3 all the way up to 8 for that battle. Very successful fight they had. And when a defender uses, he decided to use a tile to replace one of his. When he does, he doesn't redraw another tile. So he's going to start his turn with one less tile. So that's the Dragon Riders. Well, the Dragon Riders still have a tile to build villages, and they're going to. They're going to spend that 5. They're going to build some villages. In the plains, you could have up to 2. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ooh, they've had a pretty darn good turn, if I do say so. And they draw back up to 6. And yet again, they'd be very close. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 to drawing everything out of their bag and having to move that counter up, getting closer to the end game and scoring points for however many villages you have. I'm going to do the Horse Lords one more turn, and then I'm going to be. I think that'll be enough show in this game. But let's just finish out this round. Let's show the Horse Lords. Can they capture villages? No, they have no villages they can capture. What are they going to do? Horse Lords here are a little bit more tricky in the situation they've gotten themselves in. They want to move. They want to get up. They want to attack and just start squeezing pressure in on the hill folk. And if they can get to that citadel, if they can start getting towards that, get that 5 victory points before they do. But it's tough. They got their terrain really hems them in here. It's really kind of screwing them over. They're going to spend, here's 3 pips they're going to spend for moving. So that's into the hills. It costs 3. Boom. Then they got 3 pips here for moving. So that'll be 1, 2, 3. They got 4 pips here for moving. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got 4 pips here for moving. It costs 2 to move in the forest. So 1, 2, 3. 4. I'm going to spend all the rest 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pips for moving. So that'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Costs 6 because it's in the hills. Dang. And I can't move them up there for 7. I can't do it because it costs 2 to move in the forest. I'll just move him up for 7. It's a lot of movement I did. And attacks, no attacks here. It's just at the top of my turn. If there's no enemy there, I capture the village. We're going to attack at this one right here. So equal amount of troops. Can they withdraw? No, they cannot. They don't have any. I mean, yes, they can. I apologize. They can withdraw if they want to. They're not going to. Or are they? They have a defender. He's +1. This guy's 2 +1s. He can withdraw if he wants to, because neither side have horses, and he's not defending a castle or citadel, so he can decide to withdraw back to his capital if he so desires. He doesn't have great tiles over there. He doesn't have any 5s. So he's basically going to give up that village or regroup and come back in and attack with better forces. So the horse lords move up. Horse lord's getting in the action now. He'll draw back up to his hand of 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Because he could have built villages with that 5. He wants to hold on to it for a fight. So what? That was in the wrong bag. 7. And that'd be the end of that round. And we would go back and forth until we get to the end. See who has more victory points. This is just one of many maps. You saw at the beginning several maps to play on, larger maps, all kind of different terrain, different layouts. You have your entire solo campaign rules, which are actually a lot of fun. And they're kind of like puzzles to play out. This one, you have to kill the dragons, is your objective. And the dragon forces have 3 armies that are all going to slowly move towards your citadel. You have to figure out how to stop them, also how to get to the dragons and kill the dragons. You got this mission 2, encounter with the giants. You got mission 3, the new kingdom. And they lay out how the AI works. And it explains to you, I mean, very easily, easy to understand exactly what the AI does. You just follow those rules. And then you play based on that. Tons of missions. I mean, look how many. So they really, really laid out a great solo gameplay as well. Well, let's get down and let me tell you my final thoughts. So that's Bloodstones. What did you think about the game? I love games with maps. I'm a sucker for good maps. I'm a sucker for reading a book as a map at the beginning of the book, fantasy book. I'm going to enjoy it probably if it has a map in it. I'm a sucker for moving your troops around the board, dudes on a map type game. Typically, I'm a sucker if they're miniatures. These obviously aren't. Kind of like domino-esque tiles. It's just, I love moving these around the board. I love it. The maps are fantastic. And I love the differences between the forces, but the differences aren't too strong. They're not too over the top, too different. They all have very similar things. Your skirmishers, your swordsmen, You may only have one special unit in there with one special rule. I like that because you can be playing against someone else, and generally, I mean, you know how it's going to work. Now, there's some I haven't talked about yet. There's the Corsairs, okay? I'm just going to read you this about the Corsairs. So the Corsairs have a special power. You gain +1 when fighting at sea. Your land units can retreat by sea when defending, except from dragons. Remember, you can't retreat from dragons. If you're attacking adjacent to one of your ships, the defenders can only retreat if they have one or more cavalry present or dragon. You can substitute a battle tile after the other side has revealed their tiles. So they have that special ability. You gain +1 victory point for winning a battle. And they have a lot more ships, obviously. They don't have any cavalry units. So a little different. You have your Chaos Horde. Your Chaos Horde plays differently. Like, they do not build villages. It says you choose an area to place initial units in after all the players have placed their citadels. You start with 10 victory points. You build units where you have other units. Ships can be built adjacent to land units and vice versa. You can capture villages as an action during your core actions phase instead of during the capture action phase. Only once per turn and limited to expending one tile. So remember, normally you're going to move your troops, position, and all that, and then you're going to normally before you move your troops, the very first thing on your turn is you capture villages. The very first thing. So that way it gives the other players a chance to try to push you out what you saw during the gameplay and stop you from capturing villages because you do it at the top of your turn. But the Chaos Horde can do it during their turn. And they get 2 victory points every time they capture villages at the end of the game instead of 1. And their cavalry units are cheaper to build. Normally they cost 2. They cost 1. So they can't build anything. They can't build villages, can't get points for building villages, but they can build a lot of cavalry and run around the board capturing villages like crazy. Then you have your necromancers. And your necromancers, at the top of the turn, like normal, capture village. Normally then you would have your main actions, but they have one in between called move the undead. And so they have an undead unit that they can't build initially. You can't build them on the board. You just set those units to the side. They're not in your bag. And if one or more necromancers are part of a winning battle, they can replace each eliminated enemy unit with one undead unit. You can move, and then undead units are always +1 attack. And you can move some or all of your undead up to 2 areas during the move undead phase. This is the only time they can move. They ignore terrain. They can enter mountain areas and remain in deserts. They can move by sea. And then they have a few other special units. They have goblins that are free, but they're basically like your lizard men. They're free, but they +1 when attacking. So a lot of variability there. Solo rules. There's so much to that whole campaign. I haven't even dove into that. There's a ton to it, and there's a ton of variety in the base game, and just playing with your friends, playing with people at player count, and of course the maps. There's a ton of different maps. How many of them was it? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of these beautiful maps. 2-player games, to me, they seem to really bog down. Every time I play a 2-player game, it's just 2 big forces, and they're just boom, 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 going back and forth with each other. Of course, you don't have to do that. You could try to build out your villages in one army, one faction just build a big force, but he doesn't really have any villages out because he's using all of his pips trying to move that force around. But generally, that's how it plays out to me. This is better at more player count. You see in this one, 3 players, one kind of, these hill folk kind of get squished here. Now it was bad positioning on them too, but the more player count, the better. Probably 4 players is what I would recommend the most, but very fun game, high quality, beautiful game. I'm going to give it an 8 rating for Bloodstones. Get this game. And I saw on Boardgame Geek, I saw some posting that they heard this year an expansion's coming out for it. I don't know. I don't have any details for that, but I'm going to be looking for it. I'm real interested. So this Bloodstones. Check it out. What do you think? Comment below. Please like and subscribe to my video. I'm excited every time I get a subscription. I get pumped. It makes me want to make more videos. So please like and subscribe, and tell me down below what you think of this game. What you like about it, what you don't like about it, if you have it. Holler at me. All right? Thank you. Diminutive Soldier, out.